Evening, my lovelies. Welcome back to Just Tammy here. It's Talks with Tammy Tuesday. Firstly, I still haven't got my tooth back, but that's okay. They rang me at the very last minute this afternoon, so I have to go in on Friday morning to pick that up and get fitted, but that's okay. It's not like I'm going anywhere except for tomorrow, which is fine. Good thing for masks. Now, we haven't really spoken about my indiscretion last week. Now, I know that, it was my birthday week and I completely, pretty much flipped off what I ate last week. I didn't upload anything for you. Reason being was it was going all well until Wednesday, and then Thursday it went completely downhill because I had stuff to bake, and then it was my birthday on the Thursday, so I had a Chinese and I had sweets and snacks and all sorts. And then Friday we went for a lovely picnic, and you probably would have seen me in my pretty dress, all dressed up to the nines. Went to visit my mum's spot, gave you a little bit of that tour, just showed you where she is, beautiful scenery, lovely place to sit and think for a while. And it was a lovely day with the girls, they took my mind off a lot of things, as they always do. This year, though, has been so much more happier than it was last year. A lot of last year's was on autopilot. I couldn't really do much and think much. I was still kind of like in a daze. Over mum's passing. So this year's it's been a better year. Not necessarily, with my moods and my anxieties and my depression and, my whole weight gain and my body issues and things like that. But it's been a better year in terms of better days than I've had. So I'm just trying to get through them. That's all I can do. There's no one set way to go about things. There really isn't. People deal with things in their own way. I haven't been able to deal with a lot that's been going on the last couple of years because, well, I put a lot of my feelings aside for the sake of everybody else, and now it's time to stop and let myself grieve and mourn and accept things and move on, because I'm just making myself iller. I'm making myself sicker, and it's not good. I'm now 38 years old. I'm I'm basically halfway through my life, and I look back sometimes and I think, what did I achieve? What have I done in my life that's noteworthy? And yes, not everything has to be like that, but I look back on my life and I think, oh, I was going to do that, and oh, I was going to do this. Why didn't I do this? Oh, that's why, because somebody talked me out of it, and somebody told me I wouldn't be good enough to do that, or somebody told me, oh, don't bother, don't put your hopes on that. Why can't I do things that I want to do now? This is my time now, and unfortunately it's taken a major loss in my family to make me see that I am worth so much more than what people think of me. And I'm showing them that. I'm showing them that, look, you can't put me down anymore. You can't speak to me the way you did. I am a different person. I'm different in a way that, you can't accept. And if you can't accept that, that's why I'm moving on. That's why I said the other day that I've just finally had to get rid of everybody out of my life that is just bringing me down and is toxic. And that brings me on to what I really wanted to speak about tonight, which is family. Family dynamics, they're all different. We've got good parts, bad parts, we've got things that we tolerate and things that we just can't tolerate. Now, me, I tolerated a lot for many, many, many years. I was so laid back I'd fall over. I accepted a lot. I went with the flow, and I was too good for my own good. And I think people took that and they thought, here's somebody we can manipulate and we can keep on a hook, and we can keep the one the one to be blaming everything for. So, you know, I would take that. It was because I didn't want a major issue. I didn't want anything like that. I just wanted a normal life. And the only way I thought I could do it was to accept things, to not say anything, to stand in the background, to not express my opinion. And I kind of got lost in the way. I kind of became a shadow, and in fact, a shadow of myself, because, you know, even when I was younger, I mean, I was quite outspoken, and even though not to that extent, I was very sassy. Back then when I was younger, I was a little madam, as my mum would call it, or my nanny would call it. But as the years progressed, and, you know, as I've gone through, like, secondary school and, you know, making so-called friends back then, I kind of shied away from a lot of things. I kind of, like, just wanted to be accepted, so I just accepted everything everybody else did and said. And that goes exactly the same for my family. I mean, I'm the eldest of four, and I never felt like the eldest. I mean, it sounds really silly to say, but I never got the attention. And even though, you know, I didn't expect the attention, it was always laid on everyone else, because, you know, my youngest brother got into a lot of trouble when he was younger. My sister, you know, she got married quite young. My brother took on, you know, somebody else's baby. More power to him, because, you know, absolutely fantastic guy for doing it, you know, and then moved away. So it was like I was the one left, just left. And I was at home. I was at home with my mum for the best part of my life. I mean, it's only the last 4 years now that I have actually, you know, been on my own, in a sense. I mean, sure, my mum was just round the corner, and, you know, this is the first house I've ever had. You know, it's my independence, and I could never see any different now. I mean, back then, I mean, I'd be in my pajamas all day watching TV, eating up my mum's electric. Nowadays, I'm thinking about my own costs and things like that. So I think I have kind of, like, grown up a lot since moving out, and that's contributed to me growing a pair, basically. But even so, even when mum was still alive, I was still the one that, you know, listened. I was the one that was there, you know, as a shoulder to cry on. And that was okay. That was absolutely fine. Excuse that. It was absolutely fine, because, you know, it was from my mum. And, you know, it was like I'd listen because, you know, she needed a shoulder to cry on, or she needed someone to listen to. But it didn't feel like I had anybody, even though, you know, she was like a really good friend to me. She was probably my best friend. You know, I mean, she understood me better than anyone I know. But at the same time, I could never really express how I was feeling. It was more of a one-way street, and I would come away from it feeling like, I didn't really say what I wanted to say, or I didn't tell you how I was really feeling, or things like that. I mean, I regret things like that now. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I now won't, if there's something on my mind, I can't not shut up about it. I now don't have a filter between my brain and my mouth, because why should I stop it? You know, I'm a grown ass woman. I'm independent. I know my own mind, and why shouldn't I speak my own mind? It's too short, because, you know, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I could walk out that door and I could get run over by a truck or something, you know, or I could be gunned down. I mean, you know, touch wood, you know, pray to whoever that never happens. But this is the thing, you just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So say what's on your mind. Tell people what you think about them. If it's going to hurt them, it's going to hurt them for a short amount of time. But what can they do? Disown you? Because I've had that already. That alternative has already happened. And I've only said one or two things that were on my mind. So I can't imagine what would happen if I actually let the caca fly, so to speak. Because there's so much more I could have said. There's so much I could do. You know, my family they've been just unbelievable since my mum passed. It's like I've had to hold a lot together. You know, I was pretty much the one that I did feel like I was the one holding everything together because I was the eldest. That was my duty. That was me. I had to keep everything together for the sake of them. And I didn't see them, you know, well, yeah, I didn't see them doing any kind of support for me. It was more about themselves. And yes, people are allowed to be selfish. You know, they're allowed to grieve in their own way. But, you know, I say this to Alex, you know, there were promises that were made that never got followed through. And that really, really hurts me because we made them promises to my mum before she passed. And promises will now never get fixed and they will never get solved. And things that were done that shouldn't have been done and things that were said or weren't said will never get done now. It's all the case of shoulda, woulda, coulda. And, you know, there are regrets, you know, and I do regret not saying things back in the day. I do regret not saying anything when we were in that situation, when we were all sat around that table, arranging the funeral, and, you know, everybody's saying what she deserves and that's too, no, it's not expensive enough, la-di-da-di-da. It'd already been written down what she wanted. She'd already told us 1,000 times over. You know, she already knew she wasn't going to make it. You know, and that that was the whole reason for this. She was determined. She wanted what she wanted, and she got what she wanted to a certain degree. But to a certain degree, she didn't get what she wanted, and that's what upsets me the most. And that, I think, is what's conflicting me at the moment as well with the family, is that they were quite happy to do what they wanted and make it about them, when it wasn't about them. It was about my mum, and my mum wanted things a certain type of way, and that didn't, you know, get fulfilled. And that bugs me even to this day. You know, I now go over that in my brain over and over and over and over again about what I could have said and what I could have done. And even though, you know, I wasn't in the right frame of mind, I couldn't have done more than I could at the time, I look back and think, I wish I'd done that. And, you know, I suppose with all my waffling right tonight is, don't let anything go unsaid. Don't stop your feelings and your thoughts and your opinions for the sake of others. Let them know, let it out. Don't be there to just be there. Your family may be your family, but at the end of the day, if they love you as much as they would claim that they did, they would listen to you, they would respect your opinions, and they would hear you out. And if they're not that type of people, you don't need them, and just walk away. Because if you can't walk away from them, and you know, you can't have your own opinion. If you can't have your own opinion and you can't tell them how you feel, then they obviously don't care for you the way they say they care for you. And sometimes it is better. It doesn't matter whether it's your family or friends or any acquaintances. Sometimes it's best just to walk away, because it's it's an argument you're never going to win. With these people, they're always right and you're always wrong. But you're not always wrong. In fact, your opinion counts just as much as theirs. So if it's going to throw a spanner in the works, if it's going to make things even worse in that dynamic, just walk away, because that's all you can do. And when you're ready, you let them back in on your own terms, because what can they do? They know where you live, they know your phone number. they can contact you if they really wanted to. And, you know, I've gone without speaking to my family properly for about a year. And that's not my choice. That's their choice. And that's fair enough. So let sleeping dogs lie. Let's just move on from that. So I think the moral of this whole waffle tonight has been that it's just your opinion matters. You matter. And what everybody says of you, don't listen to them. You are so much better than what they think of you. If they think you're a good person, that's wonderful. If they turn around and talk shite about you, then they're obviously just not worth it. Just move on. Well, Toothless is going to go now because it's time to get dressed for bed. I hope you took something from this one tonight, because maybe I waffled on a bit too much, but there was a lot going on that I wanted to say. But if you relate to this and you understand where I'm coming from, come speak with me, because I really need help right now. This one is a little bit of a doozy, and I don't know how to come out of this one. So I could do with some inspiration. Anyway, I'm going to leave you be, guys. And like I always say, I hope wherever you are, you're having a good one. I hope you stay safe, and I hope you be good to yourselves and each other. Night, you guys. Bye.